I make an app that is actually fixing the crazy usage the model have the tendency to make in your computer. So if you don't know, when you use this kind of app like Claude to make stuff, to run new app and everything, he have the tendency, and you can try right now in your computer, you will see it. He have the tendency to start a new process in background. So in Claude, we have a button specifically for this. If I don't make error, so we cannot see it here. Wow! But he will launch the app in background. Then he will run a process in background. Then you will have a lot of chat. And for example, you will have 10 chat, and all of this chat will run his own version of the app you are actually working on in chat to test it. Because if you are not if you are not lost in the vibe coding area, you can make the agent fixing the bug for you. Okay, so he will verify that thing work using your computer, using your browser. And in order to make this, he need to launch the app again and again and again and again and again. And finally, you have 10 instances of the same app. And one day I make a tweet. Okay, so there was my tweet, and you can see that my CPU is actually 1.4% available. My Mac was burning. The battery was going down like we are in a waterfall. And the temperature is crazy. I am breaking my MacBook will break at this piece. And why? Because ChatGPT used 54.7% of my process and Claude used 43. What the hell is this? Why they are using so much? They are using so much because they was just running a ton of process in my computer. And why they was running a ton of process? Because each agent, in order for me to one-shot the feature, I need to make him verify. So basically, my agent will most of the time run the app of my computer, click, and send me a screenshot. So I don't need to test it myself. It's really smart. I can make you a video about it if you want. Anyway, when you have this, you will find that every time he will run an app. And most of the time, this fucker will forget to close the app. You will finish with 2,500 app and your app is crashing. So I make a new master prompt in my Mac, and you can install it in few click too. So in my .agent folder, I add inside agent.md an hard rule that every of my agent is following is this. Development server. Always use Portly as the only supervisor to start, stop, restart, inspect, and keep local application and development server running. What it will do, basically, it will run this app to make all your app running. So if you go in a repository, for example in Cursor, any agent is actually working. Launch the app and verify the shorten link work. So click.sh is a small link shortener application that I use internally in my corporation. Okay. So anyway, you can see that here he runs Portly, and instantly I can see here in this dashboard when he will run it. So he just find my accounts, and he can check here with the click CLI. So he will have a CLI in order to have the details of every project that is actually running, and is capable here to inspect and run the app. So he will run the app, but instead of running the app in a random port, like most of the time, he will run it in the official port for the app. So you can see that here, all my apps have different ports. In order for the agent, if I work in many projects, he will always be able to work in the different app at the same time without conflict, without running 3,000 times the same app because he's like, oh, but the port is already used, oh, but the port is already used, and anything like this. So here we have all the icon and everything, and here we have the app. You can see that you will have all the log directly inside the app. So the agent will be able to have the log, and actually anyone can have the log. You just need the terminal. You go here, you make Portly help. Here you have all the thing. We can make Portly log helps, but he have a skill. So he can normally get all the data. So in Portly statue, we have all the app that is running with the port where they are running. And maybe I can make log click, and you can see that he have the live logs. So he can read all the log. Most important is that you run a new agent. So for example, I can come here and run a new agent. Read the latest log of dev server. So I take this. And if the other agent will use a background process to run the app, we would basically not be able to make this other agent read the logs. It will not be really possible. But here, because we use Portly to handle every of our application, he can read Portly dev log, and you have all the latest log. And any agent can actually read the log because you just need to run one command and get the log because everything is at the same place. If I ask this agent, run the Portly server now, he will not be stupid as fuck and run it in a 2000 other port. He will instantly load the Portly skill. He will instantly check the Portly statue, and he will be like, oh, but it's already up, so I will just show it to you. More information about this that you can add the details parameter, and here you have so much more data because he will also have all this, how many gigabytes, how many process, how many everything is using. And you can check here the resources and check all your app, what they are actually using in the graph. So with this, you can see if there is an app that starts using a lot of RAM, CPU, or anything. Me personally, I limit the RAM. So for example, for Next.js app that have the tendency to use insanely a lot of RAM, I make here a custom limit. When he starts to use more than 10 gigabytes of memory, he is shut down instantly. He's shut down and I restart it. And so every time he go up to 10, he go back to 0, he go up to 10, he go back to 0. And this is make my Mac survive. Okay, so I don't need to throw away my Mac in 2 weeks in the trash. On top of that, we have also temporary comments that have timeouts, that have everything. And again, the objective is to remove background job because for me, Claude, Codex, Cursor doesn't use background process correctly. And most of the time, I ended up with some dead process that is never dying and that is burning my computer. So here we also have all the temporary run that will run here, and so you will be able to monitor them. If they start to literally make your computer crash, you can shut down them and they stop fucking around. Okay, that's the point. So here you have also the resource tab, footprint, project, server impact, and all the process you can imagine that will be shown here. So the system process, the node process, everything. You can also view all the system port that is actually running and all the available ports. So it's basically why the name is named Portly in the origin. It was a port manager because I get to struggle with all the app. Every app for me need to have a different port because a lot of time I run the app in the same time. So for example, this and this. And if I want, I can also use Portly. And this is what I start to do. It's really funny is that I actually use Portly to directly launch the app. So I'm like, okay, I want to launch Lumail. I search Lumail and I'm like, okay, let's go launch Lumail. And boom, the server is launching. And I can also myself launch the app, handle everything and make my own sausage. And instead of coming to terminal, okay, where is my terminal? Up, I need to go in Lumail. Obviously, I have a tool that is Z Lumail. Then I need to launch the app. And then when I close this app, I ended up with no app running. So I need to, it's messy. It's a big problem. Other people fix the problem. I think about Solo, that is a nice tool that I can also recommend, maybe if you want something way more complete. But this is more an agent to run your agent. You see, you can run your agent, you can run your app and everything. So it's a bit complex. Enfin, it's a bit like more than just a power manager. Me, it's a power manager. That's it. No more, no less. Simple. Okay, so if we check just here, Portly, your agent keeps starting the same server. So basically, its native Swift is optimized. Its MIT license is completely open source. You can read the source code. I don't want you to install an app that will manage your application without letting you read the source code that is just here. You can basically come from 5 different apps to all the right and nice app that is all using the same process. Everything is based on a JSON file, so it's pretty easy for the model to edit, restart, rechange, etc., etc. And everything is using a CLI to make things simple as fuck. A native window and a menu bar, so basically we have also the menu bar, obviously with this macOS shit. We don't honestly have the menu bar running, but I can show you a screenshot. Poop, poop, poop. So we have the menu bar just here that we can easily see all the running server. I can maybe make it better, but this will be, hey, oh. Now I have cursor Grok 4.6, so I can do anything. Anyway, you have all the thing, and you basically download the build, you have auto updates, and you can basically also build directly the app from the source, so you can edit it, because I bet on the free usage of software. So that's my point, and if you use it, I will buy me a coffee, but a custom one. Let's create a new app. It's a joke. Allez, see you next time.